over Chipa United. Josden Kamatuka, who's not starting today, but is on the bench. He scored a sole goal enough to get the win. Golden Arrows came into this match at the back of a 1-0 win at home against Richards Bay on the 13th of August. Junior Dion scoring on his debut. Smith-up, we caught up with him a bit earlier about his plans for the present and the future. The most calm I've seen Smith-up, to be honest. Speaking about calm before the storm, they'll be calm. Will they be calm out in East London? Chipa taking on TX Galaxy at Buffalo City, as the Chile boys looking to make it an even 3 wins apiece when the sides meet for the 6th time in all competitions. Teams look to make it a perfect 3 out of 3 as they host 15th place Richards Bay, who are still yet to kick into gap 0 points in over 180 minutes of league football. You boys, most Swanko boys, meet on neutral ground due to, we are told, lighting issues. They've been fixed, and potentially football will be returning back to Bukonebu Pirima in mid-September. If you're following that story, they're up against Eric Tinkler's Kukuna United. Will be surely the season's heightened by ambitions of CAF competition, having just missed out last campaign, and see whether they're keen to bounce back to winning ways after a skint 1-0 loss to Orbit. Masokolara at home to rise and shine. Of course, Golden Arrows looking to win the first match, as I said, against newly promoted sides. Arrows lost 1-0 to Magesi to kick off their season in a bitterly disappointing performance with coach Mangoba Mngeti talking the talk, but his side really failed to walk the walk, promising to steal the Sweden fans. But the only thing that was stolen was the points out of the back pocket on a particular day. But they're back to winning ways, and this is what Durban City have lined up. Darren Keat in his 209th appearance in the PSL. He starts in between his sticks, the likes of William de Gok, Nkise, Nganana Mapata. While in midfield, Carl Jurgens, Mokwena Chotwana. Up top is reinvigorated Hashim Domingo, who got an assist against Chipa. Jalumomba will lead the line, Samkelo Maseko. In an otherwise unchanged lineup. Here's William Chongo for you.
Cannot expect a lot from the build-up, but transition play will be the order of the day, which is what we've seen from Gavin Hunt. And just as well that they got Lubumba up front, who's a big boy, can hold the ball, can allow the midfielders to come a little bit closer to him to create some combinations.
Interestingly, both teams have went for similar type strikers. In the man born out of DR Congo, they're both French speakers. The other from Ivory Coast, the other from Congo, Lumumba and Dion. Let's see if the French connection can get the job done here in Chatsworth. For Coach Mangoba Mngeti, he starts maybe an international Edward Moova, will be looking for another clean sheet in 2 previous appearances. He's got 1 already, the former Ducks man. Kelvin Shidoro at the heart of that defense. Nkanka Zwane, Kobego Kamini in midfield, always very creative, but they weren't as creative as they could be in the last 2 games. Perhaps the introduction of Jerome Carlos and the hitman Junior Dion could change things up. What I'm sure.
Obviously, they need the combinations in that middle. That's why they're playing with 4, just to allow a better build-up play and better chances creating in front of goal, which has been the biggest problem. They're dominating possession, but not enough creativity in front of goal.
Bit of a history lesson for you, William Shong, and for you at home in the 2023-24 season. Arrows won against both the newly promoted sides within Cape Town Spurs and Polokwane City. One is still there, the other not there. Referee for today, Similele Mabuto, assisted by some of the names that you see there. Got an interesting fun fact about today's referee in correlation with Golden Arrows, and it's not going to make Golden Arrows fans quite happy, but we'll get to that. I'll keep it in my back pocket for now. As festivities begin to ramp up in earnest, there's plenty of games on the go for you, live and exclusively on your World of Champions, as the untold stories continue to be told as only we can. Don't forget the likes of Sibonise competition is also part and parcel of the match day experience. Now I'll tell you a bit about that if you didn't know, as we head down to pitch side for a moment of silence. unfortunate news of the passing of the top striker and a man who CB really was quite impressive. Highlands Park, Black Aces and London Pirates, and Tendai Doromai soul, rest in peace. Willem Shonga, we were speaking a bit earlier, but very nice guy off the pitch as well. Unfortunately, his career had to be curtailed due to health issues later on in his career.
What we can do is remember, of course, the good football that he played and the great moments that he created for us as viewers of the game, as lovers of the game, and of course for the Orlando Pirates fan, who I think is where he excelled the most.
Indeed. As Golden Arrows look to excel in the first ever KZN derby. It's never been said before. Durban City against Golden Arrows. Who will reign supreme in the city? We're in Chatsworth. Let's see how the cookie crumbles. It's the away side. Abafana best 10. They're taking the goals from left to right. Ooh, an early run into that attacking area as well. And the home side and Baby Blue, as usually now are in. You heard his cool voice, the cool cat, Willem Shongwe, with expert analysis. I go by the name of Mr. Shushunga Sisulu Pumlani Mia, Babam Teto, it's Surekasis to Redumananka Vela. Well, I'm really keen to see what sort of game we're going to get here, because both teams have gone in with minimal changes. Jerome Carlson, the only change for Golden Arrows in the side that came into this one, having beaten Richard Spade, while coach Gavin Hunt has left it unchanged. That old saying, if it ain't broken, you know what.
That's exactly the point. I mean, it's a critical stage of the season. Coaches are still working on certain combinations, and for Gavin Hunt, something is working. And 2 games on the trot doesn't just come that cheap. So you don't want to tamper with that too much, lest it just breaks down the momentum. So that's why not too many changes that we see today.
And to show you that the recipe is quite a hit, they have not conceded any goals in over 180 minutes of football. So that tells you they're doing enough just up top, and they're doing more than enough at the back. That's a corner, by the way.
For me, all I see in this game about Durban City is the level of efficiency in front of goal. They don't create too many, but the few that gets created. But even better is that they're solid at the back. Like you said, they haven't conceded. That is very, very key.
The first corner of the game, Pilani Kumalo, the player that was picked up from Wanderers out to the province of Teguini last year. One of the newer members, one of 6 players, in fact, that they picked up from the ABC Motsepe side.
I mean, Arrows, honestly, I think they're the one team that I've seen being able to introduce a lot of youngsters from the lower ranks or the divisions. And it's a team that plays with not a lot of pressure, which allows the coach to be able to introduce these youngsters, and how they grow up to be in the later stages of their careers is something else. But it is a great platform to lend raw talent.
William, for you, just to add to that point, as we see the latest attack from the right-hand side, easily dealt with by Ayanda Chiane. I was quite interested when I saw the starting formation. It looked like a back 3 with a 5 in midfield and then 3 up top. Is that how it's playing out, Willem Shongwe? I know it's a bit too late for you and your waning eyes at your age, and you can't see past your bedtime, but is this what they're going to set up with?
For Arrows, obviously, I think the interesting part is you look at Keenan Phillips. He's a high flyer down the right inside. Well, he plays as a right fullback for the most part, but his energy is such that it allows him to push forward. He's got a great engine room. So is Siboniso Kele on the left-hand side. And that, of course, creates that 4 in the middle, which helps them to keep more of the ball. And they just need to work on the progression of their play into the offensive stage. That is where they need to trouble teams a bit more. Because, yes, they hold onto the ball a lot. What the entries or the action in front of goal doesn't quite equal the amount of ball position that they hold.
Here's one for you. 44% that Durban City had against Chippa United. Had one shot on target.
That's it.
And limited Chippa to no shots on target with less possession.
Donkeys.
Minimalist approach but effective pass movement from Jean Lumumba. It's the Lumumba show. Goes back post from the follow-up. That fool plenty in the stand. Almost got me up on my seat. In fact, it did. Not a goal, William Jean. It's not a goal. Side netted. Good start for the City boys.
Masego coming from the wide right-hand side. But I felt like initially maybe Lumumba, his cross was a little bit too high and it wasn't like making an impact in the box where you wanted to land. But Masego was coming late from the far side, who didn't connect that well with the shot. But that's the Gavin Hunt's way of play. He gets into the areas where he can help the opposition that frequently.
Calvin copy that. You could look at Vit's goals. You'd see that. Super Sports United. You'd see that. 7 Stars. You'd see that. And now at Durban City. Gavin Hunt's imprint.
Cut the middleman.
Yes, sir.
Play of the front is the term that he often uses.
Just get straight to the main source. Get to the buffet already. Skip the entrees and little distractions.
The whole point for Gavin Hunt is that what are we trying to do? We're trying to win a game. So how do you win a game? Is by scoring goals. So how do you score the goals? You get it got into an area where you can help the opposition. And that's basically what he has prepared for the longest I know him. But he always makes an excuse for that direct type of play. He says, where am I going to get these stars to play the Barcelona way of style? I don't have them. I don't have the budget for them. So I'll choose the easier way.
I'm telling him there's a Barcelona somewhere in the vault. He's looking for one. True story.
It's just the name of the quality.
4 passes. Here's Ashim Domingo caught plenty of eyes in the last encounter. Got 1 assist in that Chippa game. Watched quite a bit of Hashim Domingo and sort of the demise of Cape Town City, and you could just tell, Willie, that it was an unhappy camp. It was almost bordering on toxic, and you could just see that no one was up for the fight, for the cause, and a lot of the players, quality players, I may add, that foul against City. I think they had checked out, like in the scene in Titanic. They got off the ship before the ship even sunk.
It's so unfair for the boss who's invested so much, and you're expecting that the people that are supposed to be running the show are there with you, but only to realize that they backed off a long time ago.
If they needed any more proof that Zwane had done something illegal to him, it took no time to show the evidence in hand. That was strong work from Lumumba. Just a slight little push. We thought the cross was overcooked.
Exactly the point I made. And in such cases, you expect the cutback to be maybe the better option, which unfortunately there wasn't much arriving in the center of the box.
Keys are down injured. Don't think he'll be out for a long time. There was a coming together between himself and Uzwane. Bonise is Asubone. Show yourself and show off. That's the competition that we've been running. Our proud sponsors Betway to say, come to the stadium, come fully dressed, come fully inspired. Like I said, show up and show off. Willie, you can't enter.
Unfortunately so.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I think it's the greatest innovation that I've seen in years. I mean, it's just
Look at that. Look at that, Willie. That's pretty spot on that.
We need the fans. We need the noise in the stadium. I'm sure the players can benefit from that sort of massive encouragement.
Ooh, and a bit of a mistake. Flag is up. Won't count. Oh, in fact, it does count. I looked up at the linesman on the far side. He had a look at the referee and he sort of looked confused, but then nodded in agreement. Penalty, or rather ball pointed towards the center circle. And it's a goal out of nothing. An awkward one, but they all count.
I think Maova made a mess of that one. I think he failed to read the flight of the ball, and he got too much underneath it. He couldn't get it out in time. It gets a flick. In fact, it's a deflection from his own defender, which is probably the reason why he thought, I'm covered from this angle, and suddenly that misplaced header catches him unawares.
Last touch was Jerome Carlos, a youngster known for his goal scoring. And that was one hell of a goal scored, I have to be honest with you. Unfortunately, he scored it in his own net. You could try that 10 more times, William Shongwe. It's difficult to do. By the way, Durban City are ahead. Less than a quarter of an hour, and they're up and running yet again in this very familiar and very successful scoreline of 1-0 for them.
But what you all know already is that Gavin Hunt's team from set pieces, they're dangerous, they're deadly. And this is where they score from the most part of their, not, like I said, not too many build-ups, but transition play and set pieces, and that's just one of them. But you'd have thought to yourself, this is probably the easiest to defend. It didn't really get into the area where most teams will struggle to defend.
Surely no way Hashim Dimengo claims that one.
Well,
he probably is.
I think it's an own goal more than anything. It wasn't going direct towards goal.
As I said, it's a very strange one to concede from where Carosa was defending and where the ball ended up. Wow. Now that show fueled this first ever KZN derby between Durban City and Golden Arrows a touch bit more. And I can tell you the fans have really turned this into a very good place to be tonight. If you're in the Chatsworth area, why are you not here? You're missing out, I'll tell you that much. My God, I'm perplexed. I will not be panicking at all.
It is often called a standard situation where you don't expect to be beaten, because you've been given a chance to set your stall defensively such that you deal with everything that comes into the area, and when you get beat in that fashion, you feel hard done as a coach. But in this case, you can see it's just a silly mistake from Karose, who thought he was clearing the ball, but only to clear it into his own goal.
Cause of a handball right in front of referee Simelene Mabuto on the front foot. Here comes Durban City. Man, Lumumba looks hungry tonight. You can just tell he's out to impress. The man who was picked up in the Botswana football circuit. There he is, very bullish in approach. Played for a side called Dati African Football Independent Club, better known as Tafik. We were trying to work out the pronunciation, so I thought, you know what, William Shonga, let's go the full thing.
Yeah.
They're currently 7th in the Botswana Premier League, by the way, behind the likes of Santa Green and Gaborone United.
He must have been the top goal scorer in that league last season, if not the second.
Correct, sir.
And they picked him up, of course. Okay, he played some friendlies, the Premier Cup in particular, and that's where he impressed for Gavin Hunt to make the decision.
Here he is again, playing more left wing than central striker. I have to say, Golden Arrows have struggled to clear their lines. And Domingo looks for a second the conventional way. Lumumba's getting a lot of joy from this left wing. And it's pretty simple, but pretty effective.
Listen, what he does, he peels to the left inside of the channel. But then, what is brilliant is the two attacking players, you're talking Maseko and Domingo, they fill up that central part of the attacking space. That, for me, is something that I'm sure has been working in training.
The new man, Omar Komara, man, got out of Cote d'Ivoire, has played his football out at Morocco as well, or in Morocco as we approach quarter of an hour. So maybe that communication element still not there as the side still bed in and play not only to the strengths but to know which personnel are at full strength right now to get the job done. Very interesting to pick up the comments of Coach Kevin Hunt saying he loves a small squad. 18 to 19 players he's working with for the season. Will unpack it shortly. Here's Domingo from the corner. Good looking out swinger, or in swinger rather. Moreover, deals with that quite easily. That was made of very difficult approach work there. Now the Durban City defender. Now it's with Kumalo in the box and out the box, like a letter in the post office. Yeah, Willie, we're picking up the comments of Kevin Hunt saying 18 to 19 players. That's how I like the size of my squad. And picked up something he said in his pre-match comments with Tato, saying only 1 or 2 changes in the last 3 games. Why is that? Because he says a lot of players, fringe players, so-called fringe players, are chomping at the bit to play. Why not give everybody a chance to play early on?
At this stage of the season, remember, for me, it's the combinations that you're still trying to work on. And for them to have been able to pick up 2 wins on the trot is just nothing short of a miracle for a team that has just been promoted. So that means something's working. Yes, you want to get everybody going, give them the fitness level that you need throughout the season. But when it's working, you don't want to tinker too much with it, because it takes away the momentum that they've built. You'll get to those players. You'll make sure that you give them the additional training extra just to try and keep them closest to the fitness level of the team that is currently playing. So, but the results is what is most important. So that will come to that. You don't want to break what is already working. If you ain't broken, as they often say,
don't try and fix it. Looking to fix the Golden Arrows scoreline. Not like that.
This is what, just having a small chat with Gavin Hunt just before the game, he says, you know what, by half-time in that last game, we could have scored 5 goals in the entries that he was making. But he says they're still fine-tuning the ability to finish in front of goal. He says, yes, we're not playing the best football. That's not maybe the most attractive, but it's effective.
Which leaves you wide open for my next question then. Minus 12 goal difference for his Super Sport side. Of course, the last couple of games he was not there. After his 2001 game, he parted ways with the beloved Spartans. But an overall picture, they finished 14th. 18 goals scored, 30 conceded. He had Kroblar, Bule, Saile, Nkize. Why were they not scoring goals?
No. Okay, he's just mentioned Bule, who had hardly played before he joined Supersport. He had Saile, who was faltering at Calcius, that's why he was loaned out. But though he came in with a little bit of fire, he scored a few goals arriving. Then he had Nurkovic, who was also so unfit
as well, yeah.
And just throughout the season, he was just trying to build up his fitness. He arrived very late, and so it's not the same player that he had that was released by Supersport. And it was a question of him, can he get them fit? Can he get them into how he wants the game to be played? Remember, he plays a certain kind of football. players have got to adapt to his style. And unfortunately, that just never came through. But he still claimed SuperSport would have finished better if he was still there end of the season.
Of course he's going to say that. Speaking of the word better, he's got the better of Mangoba Mneti. Results-wise, 16 wins for, or rather in 16 games, 9 wins for coach Kevin Hunt, 3-4 Mangoba Mneti. The rest, of course, draws. So, nice little rivalry. He played it down. The build-up saying, nah, game is not about the coaches. It's about the players. They're the main stars. Here's arrows on that left-hand side. They look through the center circle, through Lana Kumalo, but Kumalo can get into the game, the lead space. That right wing, there are 3 players in blue. None will be found, but perhaps they will be found from the corner. Good defensive work. Nice pass generating now in the stands. Quite easy when your side as well is leading.
Indeed. And this is the best situation I think they've ever been in. If you talk Durban City. And for me, I'm happy for the players that were able to help the team that have stayed and that they're part of this new better creation side. And obviously they've been additions there and there just to keep up the strength and the quality.
It's an odd string of 2 players. Rise high. To be picked up by Liam de Kock. One of the new signings. Easy work. Durban City, the winners of the Motsepe Foundation Championship with 50 points. Really was tight in the end. That's closer to Wamdanga than anything. 44 goals they scored. It was Carl Jurgens, highly talented player, this young man. Carl Jurgens, very versatile as well. And I think this is a chance for him to really show the rest of the league what he can do. I mean, I've seen him quite a bit in the GDC playing for Cape Town City, his development, and so on. Back to the goal scoring feats of Durban City. 44 that they scored, the best in the league on their way to be crowned MFC champions, the MVPs of MFC. So it helps when you got the tools to work with.
Indeed. For any coach, for any team. Coaches can only do so much, but so you have in your team that always makes you look better.
From a set piece, they open the goal. Scoring in the game. Well, what comes out does not connect at all. Not very convincing for all concerned, really, there. I was just struggling to get into this game slightly. It's more like it. Carlsen does have a bit of pace and a trick in it. It's still Carlsen. Sublime defending by Mfana Foot in Kizi. That is Foot in Mfana.
They've hardly been allowed to build up. You're talking Colin Norris, that's the way of play, but it's like Durban City are playing into their faces. That middle park is very congested. That's one pass that has been intercepted. That has been the case throughout these, 22 minutes of the first half.
That pass is beyond all game. As Domingo switches position with Lumumba. Also as his feet switch positions, and ultimately the ball goes out for an unwarranted throw-in. Not too much time in the center of the pitch. Everything is going on the sides.
You're trying to bypass the traffic by going around the block that is been set in the middle. But still, errors are finding it very easy. That for me is, if it's not happening as we're looking to the possible winner of
Police. Yeah, we can minus us out of that equation. That's okay. As long as somebody picks it up. Of course, if you have a Betway account, you double the fun. Not just 10 tower, 20 tower.
Where can you get that? Where on earth? You come to enjoy yourself into the game and you get blessed with that kind of money? Man.
Like they say, show up and show off. It's Bonisi. Here's Darren Keith, the Silver Fox. Releases the ball out of the box. Oh, that was almost a sensational find, that leg long boot. And 210th appearance for him in the PSL, by the way, for the now 36-year-old. Tekok, in combination with Atini Trotwana. Jurgens must just add a big name for himself out at Stellenbosch. Cape Town City to put it better. And can play right back, central midfield, and an attack as well. Speaking of attack, look at Lumumba. No, in fact, that was the man who earlier was taken to ground in front of Putin. They've been very strong on this left-hand side, defensively and on attack. Durban City.
Yeah, and Kiese, who, given the opportunity, is able to push forward, and just in front of him, sometimes you find Domingo, sometimes Lubumba. So, yes, this left-hand side of the attack or channel is a little bit overloaded, because in the middle you get Jordan, who plays a little to that side as well, providing cover.
Quick score updates for you at home. And Willem Shongwa, Chippa United leading against TX Galaxy. And we're looking for their third win in 6 competitions overall against that particular opponent. Chiefs able to separate themselves from Richards Bay, as Kumalo is again involved in the combat. Now I'm pushing.
What are you trying to tell me now?
I'm just saying, Willem Shaw.
No, we're referring to the TS Galaxy situation now, being 3 on the trot. Staff losses.
Beganovic is not Beganovic this season. Well, if you compare it to when he came in inside Romovic had just left, it was like vinyl to needle, moth to flame. They just clicked. It's not clicking right now. It's outside the box, I found.
Okay, take this into account as well. Even last season, it took them about 6 games before they could win their first, and 4 losses before they could get a draw. So maybe it's a way of a start for TS Galaxy that they've gotten so accustomed to. And imagine starting that badly and ending up in the top 8.
Look, Willie, it's like you when you go for your early morning 5-kilometer runs. It's not how you start, but how you end. You can start off walking and finish off walking. William Shaw. Half an hour almost on the clock. Good creative play, which Golden Arrows have been in desperate need of. Keenan Phillips goes a bit more aggressive. Kumano feels the aggressive attacking power of Samkelo Maseko right on his back. Durban City have been a very solid ball to open here.
Much better from Eros.
Lack of movement. It has to be a pinpoint ball, and it is. Sensational there from a Wits, man. There were only 2 players in the box, both of them quite static, and they found the head of Jerome Carlos up. And this time around, and use his head to get his team ahead in the chase for an equalizer.
Here you have the assistant on the far side giving a direction in favor of City, and the ref was actually giving it in favor of Eros. The players' trips, obviously, they were both lining up, and somehow, now look at this. So, the Eros player didn't do nothing.
I was going to say, Willie, he didn't do anything to him there. They don't make him like the old school. By the way, on the subject of officials, today's referee, Simelele Mabuto, made his debut in 2023. On match day 3, today's match day 3, the particular opponent on the day was Mamelodi Sundowns out at Lucas Masterpieces Morepe Stadium against one Golden Arrows. It finished 4-0. As Sundowns were masterful at Masterpieces. So on the day the referee made his debut, Arrows got beat 4-0. on match day 3. Today's match day 3, and the ref is back again against Arrows.
You're not meaning that. You're not in any way.
I'm just telling you the facts. I'm just telling you the facts. That's Domingo. On the follow-up, big block. And the third time of asking wayward. And it's one-way traffic in Chatsworth.
And it is good from Durban City. You can feel they can feel it within themselves that they've got the opportunities in their favor here. And goalkeeper out of possession, but defensively Arrows did well to come up with those blocks. Anything could have happened.
You see that was Lumumba as well. He's getting a shot away on the right-hand side. Which part of the turf has he not touched? The Congo-born man. Very impressive. Good stamina and good build on him. By the way, here's the Chiefs. Still 0-0 against Richards Bay. Orbit College. A 0-0 against Kukuna United, Siwelele and Polokwane. It's in favor of Rise and Shine. 1-0 there, half an hour. It's 1-0 here. An unfortunate freakish goal by Jerome Carlos from a free kick from Rashim Domingo. Ending up in the other direction. Carlos was trying to hit the ball into the top corner. You could not have scripted it any better if you are Durban City. Arrows on the march. On the hunt by Arrows. The game hunt. I'll tell you what, Billy. Look at the first game, Golden Arrows against Siwelele out in Bloom. What a spectacle. That was memorable. And the man, Mangoba Mneti, made beautiful pre-match speech saying that I'm here to steal the fans. South Africa, I'm here to steal your hearts. You've yet to see the football that we are going to play, and 46% of the ball and 31 minutes in and 1-0 down. I still can't see what you referred to on that particular day. That's beautiful monologue. Phillips with the yellow.
It's work in progress, they often say. It's still the build-up stage of putting the team together. And I just want to see a whole lot more in front of goal. I see the build-up. That Arrows we know for. That's the start from time memorial. But now, they've got to be better where it hurts the most.
100%. That cutting edge. Again, it's Mchize. He loses out. Just have not seen enough. We haven't even mentioned that man, Junior Dion.
There's no service.
He's barely touched the ball in what, 32 minutes now?
That is why you find so little in as far as attempt. They'll hold so much of the ball, but let's look at the shots taken. I mean, in the one game, I think the last game, they had 6 and only 2 were on target. And that's very little for a team that has intention to win a game. And that's why John hardly has a chance to get involved, because the ball doesn't get into the area where he can make good use of his strength and quality.
He's a quality finisher, as Vorian hitman. Kevin Hunt will be pleased, but he's never overly pleased man.
He's a hard man.
Yeah, he's a very hard man to please. Speaking about pleasing taskmasters, what a beautiful conversation as we see Coach Mangoba Mneti with KG and Coach Bilankulu, his assistant there. Not be happy, the 3 wise men. Beautiful conversation at Ernst Middendorf and how his transition from coach technical director is going. And the vast scouting work that they do away from the grid.
Yeah. Okay, but the most interesting part is about coach. In and out of this country, what's up? Are you going to bounce back into coaching? And And then he says, I spent some time in Germany for like 6 months.
Yeah.
And so why did you come back, coach?
The espresso part. he said, no jokes. He said, the espresso is very expensive in his very deep German accent. And he said, it's cheaper here and the beans are better here. Him and Willem Shong were having a bean of a time.
Oh, never thought somebody could be that open about how beautiful this country is. I mean, he says, it's a big country and all that, but not for me, not anymore. Imagine. Anyway.
Kieser with the throw. Jurgens, as he dreamt it yesterday, but didn't go according to script. By the way, Willem Shong, they did create 4 shots against Richards Bay. 2 of them were on target, limited Richards Bay to 2 on target. They had 20 shots. The Natal Rich boys.
That's the story.
And they lost. They lost 1-0.
That for me, sometimes this game of football, as you go and say, that is cruel. Like, what can a coach do thereafter? He gets into that box that many times and he still doesn't get a goal.
What is even more telling, how about this for you? 47% of the ball. The Natal Rich Boys ahead. And Arrows at 53. The side with less ball had 20 shots. There's 2 only on target. And the side with more ball had 4. That's unbelievable, really, as Willem Shong would say. They found on him easy. He's been in the wars. He's been upwardly mobile. He's been aggressive. He's been a pillar of strength in both halves. Attempt to play before half-time whistle. They're all still looking to score their first goal against a newly promoted side since their first meeting back in 2023-24. They lost against Mackenzie for the first time ever played against a newly promoted side, quote-unquote. And face a new provincial rival for the first time since meeting Abafana Basepe the 22-23 season. Lost the first meeting, by the way, against the Natal Rich Boys, who were newly promoted then. 2-0 at home, but won the second one away from home, 1-0. I think the center of the pitch is cause not only for concern but a caucus. A quick crisis meeting. Dlamini Zwane not combining at all.
Toughest thing for any player is to play without the ball. I think half the time you're talking about those players you just mentioned, that middle of the park, they've been running like crazy but without the ball. And these are Golden Arrows players that thrives on running with the ball. Imagine the frustration. Oh, that was on the borderline. Just about the center line, maybe.
That was close. Now, some action in the box finally for Arrows fans to savor. Yeah, but the pleasure was short-lived. Touched on by skipper Shidolo, who's pushing his side more and more forward from the defensive block into the center circle. Gladwin Shidolo. And I'll tell you what, Willem Shong, as this game continues to progress, and if the scoreline remains the same, Gavin Hunt will be secretly feeling a bit more confident. He's got Justin Kamatuka on the bench. Namibian did damage the last game, got the winner. Could come on and also dish out a double dose of damage, which will be Durban City delight.
in the form of speed. Can be very quick
and work ethic as well.
explosive. And you know what, actually, couldn't help but mention how relieved he was that he's not starting.
He did. He used these words. He said a lot of defenders will be happy that Kamatuka's not starting today's game. Was a club's top goal scorer last season. Justin Kamatuka, very versatile player, very experienced. Can play left, can play right.
Can play in the center.
Can play through the center. Saw him for Namibia, the recently concluded Kosafa out in Mangaung. Played on the left a lot of the time. Looked tired in that tournament, if I'm being honest. Here's Kumalo. Goes over handball. Hands rise. There's an offside there. Coast City having begun their season in the top flight with successive wins. Kamatuka scoring his first goal in the PSL this season, netting for the first time since 20th February 2021, William Shung, against Black Leopards for Baram Patela in a 2-1 win in the Limpopo Derby. City on the opening league match of the season, 2-0 away to Czechs Galaxy. Samkelo Maseko starting today and almost had a goal. And Fanafutim Kizo is also starting a slot. Domingo doing the business against Chipa. 82nd assistant, 7 appearances in the league against Czechs Galaxy, by the way. There's some good work there. Junior Dion. Oh, what a finish. Flag stays down. He's had scraps to feed from. But here's a man who knows the saying, give a man a fish and he will stay hungry. Give a man a fishing rod and he will feed a generation. Oh, it's Junior Dion, 1-1 out of nothing.
And the most concerning part is just the time of the game that this goal comes in. It's that crucial time of the half where concentration levels tends to drop. And like I said, he's been patient and he's just stayed focused the whole time. And that's a delicate touch, just to get it over the oncoming Durban kick with a flick with his right through. That is quality at its best. You need strikers that don't need too many invitations into that area.
That is why they brought in the Ivorian who says merci beaucoup in fine style. That literally was his first touch in the box.
Almost like.
And William Jonga said it best. A guy that doesn't need too many chances. It's somehow 1-1 now. 4 minutes before the halftime break. Still scratching my head a little bit, William Jonga.
You got to give it to Harris. I mean, I mentioned that they don't create too much in front of goal, but they've been scoring the odd goal every now and then. And this is just one of them. Hardly bothered Darren kick.
But they've bothered the scorers right now with Junior Dion. Ironically, the first game of the season against Iwele, he was not there due to work permits. I wonder how he would have impacted the side, because they played a similar game. They weren't at their best. They had decent possession, but they just lacked the killer instinct. As Makitikiti put in a 110% performance on them. Second game, he then starts, gets a goal. This is the side's third game. He gets a goal again, scores in back-to-back games, Junior Dion. What a marvelous finish that was. Touch.
2-2.
Kumal, yeah. Missed by Carlos. Carlos, I think, could do with just learning off of Junior Dion's ability to sniff out a chance, particularly when the side is not playing free-flowing football. Durban City have conceded the first of the season, by the way. Close to almost 200 minutes of league football before Darren Keat picked up the ball from the back of his net.
Well, I guess the jersey number that he's wearing speak volumes of what the man that used it before in Mutwiza. his ability in front of goal, I guess it carries a lot of responsibility.
There's something in that shirt. There's something in that shirt. Knox motifs as well was the Knox man. Tried and tested. Got rid of Knox, replaced him with Dion. They're getting similar sort of output. Claims of a push. Not too long to go before referee Mabuto's half-time whistle, and I'm still thinking to myself, Kevin Hunt will be thinking to himself, how are we 1-1? We dominated the game, kept them at bay in areas that we wanted them to play in. But Juna Dion said, Kevin, and your coaching staff, for my class, let me show you something. What have you made of the half that we've seen William Shonga?
Listen, I mean, Durban City for me has been some sort of a class above errors. Now, I'm sure if you look at the numbers, they also speak volume in as far as the point I'm trying to make. The entries is what you'd like to see. The attempt, of course, is something else that will add to it. And so, yes, 3 attempts, obviously better than that of arrows of 2. But they can say the most important step in that board
is Lumumba! Ooh la la from the Frenchman. That would have been a perfect time to hit back. I told you, what is a French connection going to do today? That was a big question. That was some serious connection from the Frenchman.
Look at the ball, how he lifts it up in preparation to come up with the volley. And he hits it where it laces. He knows, you know, it's those type of balls that goes up and down, like immediately. And just as well that Maova wasn't blessed to be able to defend that one, but he was caught between 2 minds whether he holds it or flicks it over. Yeah, he got caught there, Maova.
To make those 2 shots to 3 now on target. Courtesy of Jean Lumumba. Circling like a bunch of vultures around prey in and around the penalty spot. Yes, Durban City. Goes quite handsomely. I think it was Trevor Mukwena. 3 minutes to be added. I've been told actually 1 minute it was, man. William Shonga, what a fascinating half of football, I have to say. Durban City at the cutting edge, at the goal. Golden arrows are just floating, going nowhere slowly. Junior Dion shows why he's a killer.
What I like was the intensity with which the game was played by both sides, by the way. Though I think it will be said that Durban City showed more intentions of creating a better moment in front of the opposition's goal, and just the control of the game. They never allowed Golden Arrows to play the type of games that they're most comfortable with. That is always important if you play a Golden Arrows side, that you neutralize them. You put them in those positions where they can't play the type of game that they like, and that's what Durban City did. So from that point of view, I thought Durban City were on point, but hey, this game can be cruel. Against the run of play, Arrows scores the own goal.
The beauty and the beast that is the game of football. That was Carlson's spectacular own goal. Look at that. He couldn't try that. You could try that 10 times. It's very difficult to put the ball there where it ended up. Wow. And that's how City got up and running. However, a bit too late to arrive to the party there. Before he knew it, the headlines read, Carlson hurts Arrows. The arrow to the heart. Well, for the Golden Arrows themselves as well, there was a great finish from Junior Dion just after that. But at the halftime break, it's Carlson's own goal, revived by Dion's dynamic running. 1-1 at halftime. pointed towards the center side.
He gets a flick. In fact, it's a deflection from his own defender, which is probably the reason why he thought I'm covered from this angle, and suddenly that misplaced header catches him unawares.
Last touch was Jerome Carroll's, the youngster.
Massive encouragement.
Ooh, and a bit of a mistake.
Flag is up. Won't count.
Oh, in fact, it does count. Looked up at the linesman on the far side. He had a look at the...
Massive encouragement.
Ooh, and a bit of a mistake.
Flag is up. Won't count.
Oh, in fact, it...
Massive encouragement.
Ooh, and a bit of a mistake.
Flag is up. Won't count.
Oh, in fact... Ooh, and a bit of a mistake.
Flag is up. Won't count. Massive encouragement.
Ooh, and a bit of a mistake.
Flag is up. Won't count.
Oh, in fact, it does count. Looked up at the linesman on the far side. He had a look at the referee and he sort of looked confused, but then nodded in agreement. Penalty. Loretta, ball pointed towards the center.
Massive encouragement.
Ooh, and a bit of a mistake.
Flag is up. Won't count.
Oh, in fact, it does count. Looked up at the linesman on the far side. He had a look at the referee and he sort of looked
encouragement.
Ooh, and a bit of a mistake.
Flag is up. Won't count.
Oh, in fact, it does count. Looked up at the linesman on the far side. He had a look at the referee and he sort of looked confused, but then nodded in agreement. Penalty. Loretta, ball point.
Encouragement.
Ooh, and a bit of a mistake.
Flag is up. Won't count.
Oh, in fact, it does count. Looked up at the linesman on the far side. He had a look at the referee and he sort of looked confused, but then nodded in agreement. Penalty.
Massive encouragement.
Ooh, and a bit of a mistake.
Flag is up. Won't count.
Oh, in fact, it does count. Looked up at the linesman on the far side. He had a look at the referee and he sort of looked confused, but then nodded in agreement. And 7 appearances in the league against Tex Galaxy, by the way. There's some good work there. Junior Tio. Oh, what a finish. Flag stays down. He's had scraps to feed from. But here's a man who knows the saying, give a man a fish and he will stay hungry. Give a man a fishing rod and he will feed a generation. Oh, it's Junior Tio, 1-1 out of nothing.
And where concentration levels tends to drop, and like I said, he's been patient and he's just stayed focused the whole time, and that's a delicate touch just to get it over the oncoming Durban kick with a flick of his right foot. That is quality at its best. You need strikers that don't need too many invitations into that area.
That is why they brought in the Ivorian who says merci beaucoup in fine style. That in 7 appearances in the league against Tex Galaxy, by the way. There's some good work there. Junior Tio. Oh. In 7 appearances in the league against Tex Galaxy, by the way. There's some good work there. Junior Tio. Oh, what a... There's some good work there. Junior Tio. Oh, what a finish. Flag stays down. In 7 appearances in the league against Tex Galaxy, by the way. There's some good work there. Junior Tio. Oh. There's some good work there. Junior Tio. Oh, what a finish. Flag stays down. He's had scraps to... There's some good work there. Junior Dio. Oh, what a finish. Flag stays down. He's had scraps to... There's some good work there. Junior Dio. Oh, what a finish. Flag stays down. He's had scraps to... Domingo with less possession.
Donkeys.
Minimalist approach, but effective pass. Movement from Jean Lumumba. It's the Lumumba show. Goes back post on the follow-up. That full 20 in the stand. Almost got me up on my seat. In fact, it did. Not a goal, William Jarvis. Not a goal. It took no time to show the evidence in hand. That was strong work from Lumumba. Just a slight little push. We thought the cross was overcooked.
Exactly the point I made. And in such cases, you expect the cutback to be maybe the better option, which unfortunately there wasn't much arriving in the center of the box.
With less possession.
Donkeys.
Minimalist approach, but effective pass. Movement from Jean Lumumba. It's the Lumumba show. Goes back post on the follow-up. With less possession.
Donkeys.
Minimalist approach, but effective pass. Movement from Jean Lumumba. It's the Lumumba show. Goes back post on the follow-up. Movement from Jean Lumumba. It's the Lumumba show. Goes back post on the follow-up. With less possession.
Donkeys.
Minimalist approach, but effective pass. Movement from Jean Lumumba. It's the Lumumba show. Goes back post on the follow-up. It's the Lumumba show. Goes back post on the follow-up. It's the Lumumba show. Goes back post on the follow-up. Arrows got beat 4-0 on match day 3. Today's match day 3, and the ref is back again against Arrows.
You're not meaning that. You're not in any way.
I'm just telling you the facts. I'm just telling you the facts. That's Domingo. For the follow-up hit block. And the third time of asking wayward. And it's one-way traffic in Chatsworth.
And it is good in themselves that they've got the opportunities in their favor here. And goalkeeper out of possession, but defensively, Arrows did well to come up with those blocks. Anything to their favor.
You see that was Lumumba as well. Getting a Arrows got beat 4-0 on match day 3. Today's match day 3, and the ref is back again against Arrows.
You're not meaning that. You're not in any way.
I'm just telling you the facts. I'm just telling you the facts. That's Domingo. For the follow-up hit block. And the third time Arrows got beat 4-0 on match day 3. Today's match day 3, and the ref is back again against Arrows.
You're not meaning that. You're not in any way.
I'm just telling you the facts. I'm just telling you the facts. That's Domingo. For the follow-up hit block. And the third time Arrows got beat 4-0 on match day 3. Today's match day 3, and the ref is back again against Arrows.
You're not meaning that. You're not in any way.
I'm just telling you the facts. I'm just telling you the facts. That's Domingo. For the follow-up hit block. Alive here at Chatsworth Stadium is a very interesting watch as we unpack it for you at the halftime break. It was an own goal by Jerome Carlos, who's since been wiped off at the start of the second half. That saw the duck broken in this game. And then how about that finish from Junior De Jong? A cheeky little chip from the Ivorian to leave many green with envy. Carlos has been taken off, replaced by Ayabula Makwele, the former Royal AM man, inserted into midfield for his third appearance of the campaign. Siandan Grove comes in as well for Kobego Kameni. No subs to report for Durban City. It's myself, William Shongwe, Babam Tetwa, as well as Pumani Mia, your super voices to give you this very promising second half. Quick score updates, by the way. Chipa United takes Galaxy, that's 1-1. Kaizer Chiefs and Richards Bay cannot be separated. Golden Arrows, or rather, Kukuna United got the golden touch against Orbit College out in Topsy. Polokwane City giving a rude awakening against Uelele. It's 1-0 for Rise and Shine, rising and shining in that encounter. 1-1 over here. Here's Willem Shongwe. Two subs. Makwele, Nkobu in, Karusa, Kamini out.
Clearly the offensive part of Golden Arrows hasn't been to the level that the coach would have expected. We spoke about the less activity in front of goal in their attacking third. Yes, decent build-up plays, decent full amount of possession, and but the coach is trying now to see if he can impact that attacking third a bit more clinical in front of goal. That unfortunately in the 3 games that they've played, yes, they won the second, but look at the turnover of the shots taken to that on target. That remains the biggest concern. That is what he'll be hoping to improve going forward. He got the goal before the half, but he needs a whole lot more if he means to win this game.
Here's some food for thought for you. City have managed to score the first half in all 3 matches in the top flight so far. Arrows have been conceded their 4th goal in 3 matches in the league this season, with Junior De Jong equalizing Fires in the 41st minute through an assist from Pilani Kuma. It was pretty innocuous in that game, but I think that would give the youngster plenty of confidence in his first season as a fully fledged tender nation player. De Jong, by the way, the Ivorian scoring the 2nd goal of the league in as many games. Chance to cross, looking for ever-present De Jong. I mean, really, that finish from the 31-year-old striker. I mean, if you missed the first half, he's a man who, I put it to you like this, Willie, was invited to the party. Said, you know what, I got a bit of a runny tummy. Let me go upstairs and lie down. Come back. They finished everything. Oh, there's nothing for me. Man, he barely got any service. He got nothing, but he made work. He made something out of nothing.
That's the quality of a top striker. It doesn't matter the amount of service, but throughout 90 minutes, they stay focused for that one opportunity that will count. They don't give up that quickly. They stay positive throughout in anticipation of that one chance.
That's a beautiful kick cross. Kumalo should have put the exclamation mark at the end of that. Surely. How did he not finish? That would have been his debut goal.
The thing is, he attacks. You know, he plays that left wide position, but he anticipates here. He starts running in anticipation, which was excellent on his part. That for me is, but he seems to struggle with his right. That was meant for a left foot. He attempts it with his right foot,
which is outside of his right.
Yeah. And if you use your left instead, it means your upper body will be a bit more forward, which will help keep the ball down. And you can wrap your left foot around the ball to redirect it towards goal.
It's a bizarre finish from the bizarre to the absolute elite in Golden Arrows' finishing class. Yes, Dion has been a class above everybody else in terms of finishing. I wondered to myself, had that been the Junior Dion on the end of that, I don't think we would have seen that complicated finish.
Yeah, Kumalo trying to make up for that miss.
Player born out of Inanda is Pilana Kumalo, like I said, looking to really cause some waves in his breakthrough season. Pilani Kumalo, he has played for Royal AM previously, but on the periphery was more the reserve league player. His debut for Fanabas term against Siwelele. Day one of the season opener. Could have had his first goal. Match day 3, not to beat. 9.5 to play before an hour. Yes, Kumalo looking to right the wrongs of a few minutes ago. City haven't started this half not as good as we saw in the first stanza, let's be honest about that. Domingo, beautiful first touch, and then movement from Lumumba.
Once again, killing to the left side of the attack.
Oh, it's Mukwena this time around. Asazi, really, Asazi. That's more like it from the team in blue now with Maseko. 1v1 with his man. It's Sankelo Maseko. Never really look confident. Good, strong defending all the way from Ayana Tiani.
You know, I've been really concerned about something here. In goals for Golden Arrows, I know what Mahova looks like, but the man in goals didn't quite look like him.
Cross, touch, Zwane. Ball still alive. Yeah, I think you're 100% back. It's a normal, isn't it? Did he come off from a chicken off?
No. He's always been. That's why I'm saying I've been looking at the goals. I'm like, that's not my over. But now my team sheet is telling it's my over.
And I doubted your eyesight.
Hey, at my
I
age,
should have my eyesight.
at my age, sometimes you doubt yourself.
8 to play before. And by the way, Golden Arrows have scored in the last 5 games in the league that go by Junior Dion. This is their longest run of games with a goal in the competition since a run of 5 from 12th May 2012 to birthday month, 21st September 2024. Lumumba. Decent touch by Korakele. Captain Shitono looking to lead from the back to the front. Gianni. Shitono looks for angles. Touch, no look pass. There's a vision from Kumalo. For the outside of the foot. Creative touch. Maybe should have just went simplistic again. The weird part for me, really, sorry to cut you off, when he should have used his left there, he used his right. When he should have used his left there, he used his right. Tells me he has no left foot.
Exactly. So he's actually playing as an inverted. That explains it a bit more. That he's continuing to force to use his left, his right, when the ball was better suited for the left.
Nice little touch there from Chotwana. Oh, nice reverse pass. Rattles the crossbar. Still shaking. No one knew nothing about that. They come again. More like it. They still stay rooted in their seats to the Durban City fans. Not yet convinced with the early work. Domingo looks to do more convincing. That was unconvincing, but he got it done one way or the other. Chance at a cross from Apate. I really like this Jean Lumumba, I have to say. His creativity and just his understanding of space. Look at that, hard work. Then releases the pass. The vision to split 2 with 1. Squeeze.
The upright is still shaking from that shot a minute ago. Rowan Fernandez,
someone you know of?
Yeah.
Monsieur Fernandez on the bench. You still claim to have the best pass of all the keepers we've ever seen? You claim?
The story, of course, that people don't having gotten to understand is that
you always tell it to me.
Is that the kuna that you saw?
Okay, so that is the Momba. Can't get there. No. Clears in the end. Yeah, you were saying?
Yeah. Kuna's ability to take those goal kicks that have suddenly went viral, like every keeper, you know, if they take that kind of service, they call it a Kuna. It's Rowan Fernandez,
true,
who started it all. And it's just that Kuna took it to the next level.
So you didn't give that to Rowan Fernandez?
No.
Oh,
no.
okay. No more about the acrobatic.
It would be nice for me to claim
I thought that's where you were going to go.
No.
Oh, man.
No. Please. Credit will come when it's due. But you don't push it.
I see that Durban City are starting to come to grips a bit with that early onslaught from Golden Arrows, starting to find more joy now from the left and the right, which is what they were doing in the first half. It was my colleague mentioning the exploits of former Chiefs and Super Sport United top goal minder Rowan Fernandez. Man, born out of Springs. Makes sense why he became a goalkeeper. I hope you get that. For the likes of that Super Sport, Armenia, Bielefeld, Chiefs, of course, and Vets, to name a few.
Just managed to go on and make sense of some of the people that are around the stadium. Talk Middendorf is the one that put through Rowan to the team in Germany. Beautiful.
Clearly a man that he values high and he trusts. That man you see in shot Keat. He's looking for what would be clean sheet number 72 in 210 PSL games. Not to be tonight. Why is he already sweating with less than an hour on the clock?
He's been warming up and hoping for an opportunity.
That's what happens when you warm up that much. All right. Good to see him here.
He supports all the Durban teams, but his special team is Amazon.
The other way, Rowan Fernandez, 2 teams he played for. He hit a century sort of cap splits between 96 to 2001, and then Chiefs between 2001 to 2007. 100 and 114 respectively. Capped 23 times at international level. I think we would look back and he would have wanted better numbers internationally on the global stage. Here's Jurgens. Looks for Domingo. It's the Cape Town connect. Ngobo plucked it out of the Chatsworth. Nice guy, then connects with Trevor Mokwena. One of those has only come up standing.
Yeah, I came in a long way off. I'm not saying that was wrong from Ngobo to come up that far, but you want to command in that area with the lower presence. Help your defenders because you got the advantage of your hands.
Tell you what, William Stronger, for man as diminutive, if I can use that word, we're not the biggest of keepers. You must have one hell of a spring to intimidate men. Really, otherwise I think it becomes a bit of a weakness. I don't know, what is the goalkeeping expertise? The real Mahova. Yeah. Is that a deficiency or is that something that you can work around? Being a short, quote-unquote goalkeeper like Ngobo. And of course, those watching in the precinct, to the likes of the Namibian international and former Ducksman. We show our Spornise winner. There she is with the blue hair and the pom-pom. Tabile Khatebe, congratulations, mama. 20,000 rand in a bank account. You could be just like this Tabile. Spornise. Pitch up. Show up, show up. We shall see you at the next one. You never know. William seems impressed.
Here's the thing. I'm just thinking, you know, do you ever get the feeling that today is going to be a day different from the many that you had? Did you ever get a feel? Do you ever dream about that to say, today something's going to happen to me? I'm just, you know, this is amazing. This is just unbelievable.
You're asking the wrong man. I'm a dreamer by nature. Justin Kamatuka would have dreamt of coming on and being a match winner yet again for 2 weeks in a row. He replaces Trevor Mokwena, the Namibian international. I'm sure we'll slot in through the middle by the looks of it, with Lumumba moving to the left, Domingo on the right. And it's as we were, parliamentary proceedings proceed. Shiton unless you get a hurry on. Beautiful steal with that. Maseko then heightened thereafter. Domingo is the runner. Was he the decoy? The pass should have went from Maseko. Very clever run there from Domingo. Just behind that very static Golden Arrows defense.
Sometimes it's not necessarily the man on the ball that makes a successful movement or move. But it's the movement of the ball, which is what Domingo did there. Distract the defenders. They get caught in between whether they chase him or they stay with the man with the ball. Those are the dynamics.
Here's Lumumba with a first-time cross, and it's a decent one, you know. Somehow they keep it alive between Domingo and Kamatuka. Lumumba has been a handful. He's been a real handful. Former Tafik FC player out in Botswana. City playing at home for the second time this season. They're looking to win the second home game of the campaign. They still got, what, 27 minutes to get the job done. Sibiya is ready to come on. Been used mostly this season off the bench. There's Sibiya and Luduzo Sibiya. Domingo, anything out across, he can't. I think Domingo's starting to tire a little bit. Jurgens, eloquent control. All in one touch. Beware the quiet Dion.
Beware of the eyes of much.
Beware the man who says very little. Maseko, he's been slightly disappointing with his work on the right wing, not as influential or impactful like his Congolese teammate Jean Lumumba. Durban City's home ranking, by the way, in MFC last season, played 15, won 11, drawn twice, and only lost twice the entire season. That's very impressive. Shows you that they are a side that love home comforts. They won 3 of the last 5 home games in MFC last season. Undu Sibia about to come on. They're facing young Pilani Kumalo, the 22-year-old, has had a decent outing yet again. He clearly has got the eye of Mangoba Mweti.
And also, Sibia, if you look at him, he also plays to the left-hand side. He's right-footed also. He plays as an inverted. So he's going to apply himself almost exactly as Kumalo did. But obviously brings a bit more experience. And his shoot, and he can take those explosive runs forward and those shots that can sting the goalkeeper's hands.
I think this will be getting to that age now where he will start thinking about adapting his game. You mentioned the word explosive. I mean, turned 30 not so long ago.
Funny how time flies, eh? Just recently was one of the most exciting 3C players.
I remember him in his breakthrough season, 2015.
That's right.
2016 when Golden Arrows went on to win their maiden title in the reserve league.
And now he's one of the senior players.
He's one of the senior players. Duzo CB. So much so, William Shonga, he's played 206 PSL games since that breakthrough moment back in 2015. Scoring 27 times and 20 assists.
You remember him competing for that wide left position with Pule Modi, who's now at Kazi.
100%. 232 appearances for Undu in the colours of his beloved Golden Arrows. So the epitome of a one-club man, headed away by Keenan Phillips. The game now starting to just get to a bit of a lull where somebody, if you blink, you might just get sucker punched. Yes, Nduduzo Sibia.
But I still like the high pressure from Durban City. That middle park has remained very tight. Arrows have found it very hard to collide. There was a moment where Arrows played with a little bit of fluidity. They put Durban City under some pressure, but that has since been wrestled back into the hands of Durban City again. Now they're beginning to command the game.
Speaking of wrestling back, we had spoken about that less than satisfactory start for Adnan Beganovic. Well, the goal scoring has begun up for you. Beganovic there, William Shongwe, who said Tejani equalizing after a 5th-minute goal from Fetani. It's now 2-1. 4 minutes past the hour in favor of the man from Mpumalanga.
Wow.
Of course, here as well, have taken the lead against the Natal Rich Boys, against its Rich Pickings, against the Rich Boys. Flag is up there against the Golden Arrows player in the form of Sianda Ndlovu.
Now, if Chiefs are able to maintain that scoreline, it'll be for the first time in like a season that they've been able to win 3 on the trot.
3 in the trot. Never happened before in the last couple of years. How about goal scorer for your information, Gaston Serino. 6 minutes before the hour there.
Don't jinx it now.
Kukuna United clean job against Auburn College. They're taking them to school, taking them to class. Very strong outfit. 3-0 against Auburn College. Kevin Hunt, he's a chip of the old block, and he's seen and done a lot. Over 1,000 games in charge as you compare that to Mangoba Mniti's 166. That's experience, man. Heading into the last 20. Durban City also leading against Suedele. 1-0. Maseko. Never see too much of Mapate in the last 10 to 15 minutes. The cross goes to the back post. There's a cross. Was punched away. That's 20 minutes. Shows in Kamatuka. Another sub to come on for Mangoba Mwetu, who's really going for the jugular. Dion looks highly displeased here. And to come on Bongani Kade. Want to add another Kade, or is he replacing the other Kade? Dion, meanwhile, Kade would say, hey.
Seems to be limping.
Yeah, he's not very happy at all. Yeah, it is him being subbed off. Maybe they're saving him for bigger battles. It's a good handshake from his bosses.
In a game where I think Eros maybe didn't quite come into him, it's still a phase where the coach can say, yes, I'm still working on 1 and 2. There's quite a lot of youngsters that have been introduced to the Golden Royals side. If you compare to the team, how it has changed from last season, I guess maybe Coach Mangoba will be happy with what these young boys are showing.
Sazi Soma Kawana will get under 20 minutes on for Santelo Maseko. Thoughts please, William Shaw.
The man,
the myth,
who nearly cost the team so much, and yet he was so inspirational to the Durban City team in the first division. And I guess he's being dropped into the team in bits. And I'm not sure what would be the reason. It's like there's still fear of some sort that what if the case is still unresolved?
Can't live life with what ifs.
The thing is,
I understand what you mean.
It was dealt with and it's all clear, but then his contribution last season was something else. And yet, he starts the season in the Betway Premiership like a player who's still like being checked out, you know. It's like the boss is saying, you
show me what you can do. I hear what you say, what you can do, but show me.
Yeah.
26 years young. Soma Kawana. There's a couple of minutes here and there already. The Betway Prem. And who was initially purchased from Marumo Cannons. Year 2024. They played for Golden Arrows, if you remember, as well. Of what? 2 years ago. Tongati was also one of his former teams. Soma Kawana, I think him and Jocelyn Kamatuka were the mainstays in the back in which the success of the MFC Assault was built. Right, entering that very crucial last 15 minutes. A quick look around the stands and everybody's literally standing on the one side of the terraces where we are. Cannot sit down at all as if there were termites on the seat. While then the other, they are intently watching like two sides of a coin. Others standing, others sitting. Who will be left standing at the final whistle? No one stands with a tackle like that for Makawana.
decent game from the Gawkin defense. Alongside Nganana. How do you see Mapate venturing forward?
Not as much as well in the second half. He just makes a run on the right-hand side. Looks to feed it to the high-flying fullback, but not to be there. Gavin Keith as well is not featured much. Here's Justin Kamatuka, first real involvement. Almost stopping it short there for Makawana. Domingo. This is just starting to, you can just see play itself out to be anybody's game. Who wants it the most and which coach can make the right plays at the right time. That's Jurgens against Ngovu.
He's another that has been very impressive. Quietly going about the business.
Told you, William, this youngster's got real talent. Not just only talent, but he's got mental strength. That's a foul. Or is it? No, fooled me. Fella fooled me, and that sarcastic clap from Makawan on his back.
I'm not sure. This happens right in front of the first assistant from this near side. And yet he didn't pick it up.
He didn't even flinch at all. Fourth corner for Durban City, and I think in that stat also tells you the flow of the game. 4 corners to Durban City, 1 to Golden Arrows. We'll see which side of the scale the activity has been tipping. Robo thinks about coming out, doesn't get there, was never going to be there. Nice little touch there by that man Nkovu. But where were the numbers? Too focused on defending, not enough pace on the transition. Fernandez, as Fernandez watches on. Pass, Makawana. Kamatuka with the touch. Kamatuka, last touch of the Durban City, or rather Golden Arrows defender. They were Gianni. We move, we pick it up from the corner. Where Arrows will be looking to claim their first win on the road this season and keep their second clean sheet. Forget that. That's out the window. That's what they would have wanted at the start of the game. Mangolan Uniti. His 167th game as a Golden Arrows coach. This is his first season back in 2006. 7 is a 2.5 road during those days, 2006-7. More hair than you have now.
That's a long time ago, eh?
That's a long time ago.
But what I like about these games for me is it's becoming clear that Betway Premiership is very competitive. It's becoming difficult to go into a game knowing that you're guaranteed for 3 points. So those kind of games that even if you get that 1 point, you think to yourself, you know what, I got something out of it.
Not doing any good work for my bedweight slips, by the way. Really, I was diabolical already last season. The season's gonna get even harder, really. Yes, the in swinger from Domingo. Don't they need one to swing in? Robo comes out. Just makes it on his toppy, on his tippy toes rather.
Very aggressive.
Yeah,
you know what? It actually was just a flight, and I don't think it's the kind of cross that he wanted to flick. It was only when he was too much underneath it that he couldn't peck it.
It strikes me as a keeper that has got the jitters. Always wants to come out, get the ball unnecessarily sometimes. Almost wants to prove himself. Maybe it's due to the lack of the height that I spoke of. One needs to be a match winner here. Would it be the Namibian stealth hitter, Jocelyn Kamatuka? Will it be the new man, Jean Lumumba?
Obviously, Nobo is very familiar with this field. It's a field that he played in a few seasons ago when he was still at Royal AM. Won some men of the matches here with some exciting performances.
Hasn't been called in as frequently
As
tonight.
much, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
By the way, Thokozani Lukele come on for the last 11 minutes or so. I think, you know, someone that's really impressed me. This is the second game I've done of Golden Arrows, and obviously I watched the Richards big game at home. Keenan Phillips for me, such a strong defender. Just needs to refine that attacking third play, that final cross. But for me, he really is such a solid player. His base is there, his foundation is there. Zwane off Lukwele is on. Can he do damage with the base that has been set, with the foundation that has been built? Heading into the last 9 minutes, yeah, I'm a big fan of Keenan Phillips. I've seen his progression since he was under the tutelage of Sheppy, Dylan Shepherd, out at Wits, yeah. In Super Sport, didn't find it easy, but pushed on, and then now he's at Arrows, and one of the first few names, first on the team sheet, youngster Keenan Phillips. No thrills or spills, but a solid performer. I think that summarizes the performance of the Golden Arrows team today. Solid without really ever getting out of, let me put it this way, solid without ever hitting the sports mode in a new Ferrari. They played within themselves. Yes, Kamatuka looking for the fast finish. I want to be giving him a sighted goal. No. Oh. Did you see that? Yo. As if he wasn't a Ferrari himself. The defender there. Wow. Breeze pass. Hopefully we get to show you again. Domingo. This is to the near post. Yes, who's there? Phillips. That TV. Was his last name suggest he switched on? Here's Phillips. Corners, back post, Tiani. Just get the sense that something can transpire. Great work again from Noble. Really very impressive for one as diminutive as he is as a goalkeeper in that particular position. Usually sees giants of men. Talking about Oscar and Masuluke. You look at Darren Keith, Sage Stevens, etc., etc. Got one hell of a leap on it. Matuka on the hit. It's about to pass. Now for Mapate. He's got time to load one in. So it's off his feet. Dug out. Domingo. Chests it. And also surveys the scenery all in one. More ball. Throws cold water on the ensuing fire. Mapate. Goes back post for Keenan Phillips. He's occupying that position like a hawk. Domingos trying to pull strings from minute 1 to 84. Being impressed by his hunger and stamina here today. I think it's time to put up his hand as potential man of the match. I think himself and John Lumumba.
First of all, is his contribution throughout the 90 minutes, but even further for me is like his game, his creative side of the game came through very well in a team that plays rigid football. He's the one that has brought a little of juices into the play.
Oh, another shot. It almost sneaks in through the legs of Lobo. And I was waxing lyrical about his catching ability. Ooh, they almost caught him out. Did well, man. No matter how
he recovered well.
Yeah, he did. Here comes Durban City. They look as if they're finishing this game the stronger of the two. Arrows seemingly just holding on. Speaking of holding on, that's what referee Usimele Mabuto thought of Jocelyn Kamatuka's advances here.
His fresh legs made a big difference into the attack. They're holding on to the ball. The engines are a little bit better. You're right. Arrows are actually going under quite a bit of pressure. As we look at the goalkeeper Ngobo's ability to apply the techniques right. You got to close those legs a little bit. Imagine if that was a bit stronger. If it goes through there, there's no recovery. The line is right behind you. Oh, man. Luckily, there wasn't anybody from a Durban City point of view to pocket in.
That's what you call in card. Luck. Yeah. So the kit is green after all. A bit of the rub of the green. There's Olani Ngobo's performance by the numbers. Score updates, I'm sure. Now take center stage to see who's going to end up where and who's doing what to who. My party, been good. The one that's put in a performance. Tahir Goedeman, former Cape Town City midfielder, replacing, I think for me, my man of the match, Jean Lumumba, who's been magnifique. That's a pat on the head by Kevin Hunt. Tahir Goedeman will take over, entering the last bend of this game.
I know there was a very famous politician in Congo as Lumumba, but this is
Lumumba.
But this is Lumumba. So just to, I think we've been mentioning Lumumba quite a bit.
Lumumba, should I say? Yeah. Easy to see why Patrice Lumumba. By the way, from historical figures to what is soon to be a historical moment, TX Galaxy 3-1.
Wow.
Against Chipa, come from behind, by the way. Chiefs still 1-0, cleared back in the direction of Kamatuka.
Well, something else to note is that Durban City raided Cape Town City after they got relegated. If you look at the number of players that are able to sign, and which for me has actually strengthened the City bench and the starting lineup. If you look at the influence of Darren Keat, Domingo, who starts the game normally, and now there's addition, so there's no judge also sitting on the bench.
Tahir Goedeman just came on as well.
Tahir.
Kukuna United says to Chiefs Galaxy, anything you can do, we can do even better. They got a clean sheet and they put 3 past Muswenko boys. No Muswenko tonight, it's 3-0. In favor. I wondered to myself, William, I mean, we happened to go down to Rustenburg a few times for MFC games where Orbit College was playing. It's an absolute delight.
Yeah.
And it's a fortress, and they are one with their fans in that stadium. But they're not playing at that stadium currently. They're out at Dobsonville, and I don't think it's the same feeling for them as it for their fans. And it's due to old facilities and lighting in the stadium out in Olympia. So they have been
compromised.
they've been compromised in a way, if we're being honest. And apparently the contractor says around mid-September they'll be able to go back to Olympia Stadium now. How many points would they have picked up or dropped by then? The cross by Domingo, missed by Ngobo again, off his line.
Timing,
yeah.
something that he has to. He's really
very
energetic.
Eager.
Yeah, very eager, and he comes out for quite a low balls that maybe sometimes he shouldn't come out for. But it is good for a keeper to be that adventurous. But the timing is what needs to get right.
Oh, when you got maybe an international, then it was more of a you be jittery and jumpy, making sure that you want that number one spot. 4 minutes. Injury time. Durban City next in action against the other city in the Battle of the Cities. Polokwane City at home to Durban City. And then it's a away trip to Paminanoko on the 30th of August. Interesting ties, those. Well, for Lamontville, they play on Wednesday, the 27th, against Mackenzie. And then it's a matchup against Ulemodi and Co. As he faces his former side. The Big Chiefs touches, good touches by Makawana. Not only enough to put in the final touches, the finishing touches. Outside the box is this Domingo earning a free kick for his side.
I think the ref thought maybe it's a head injury, that's why I blew the whistle, not because there was a foul. So he might just bump the ball or drop the ball in favor of errors, depending on who is in position of the ball. Yes, that's what he does.
Even last year's great control there. Your man of the match.
Well, that is going to be revealed.
I see what you did there. Okay. I'll get you. I'll tell you for free, guys. At home for me, I think it's John Lubumba. It has been very electrifying until he ran out of steam. Ashim Domingo not far behind. Eamon Phillips.
But of course, it depends on the whole group of voters that will still contribute their votes.
As we edge closer to the full-time whistle, we saw an opening goal by Jerome Carlos in the wrong net in the first half, and then followed by another first half goal, but later on through Ivorian Junior Dion, who made it 2 games and 2 goals running to see this match at 1-1, and we've stayed there since. William Shonga, what have you made of this match day 3 encounter under the bright lights of Chatsworth?
For me, I'm very encouraged for beginning of the season. I spoke about the intensity that the game is played at from both sides, but even better from Durban City, who seemingly has a plan into their strategy. Not too many build-ups, and the men Lubumba up front doing the hold-up job, but now and then peeling to either channels. So it's very useful in being able to hold the ball a bit, and there's quite a clear strategy in how they want to approach this game. But for Arrows, there's still a lot that needs to be put in place. Yes, Abafanabe style, we know they can play, but I think their interest offensively is what still needs to be polished.
If they were John, they're missing a week. That's what you're saying.
Yes.
That little
week.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for catching it with it.
Just be careful sometimes, eh? Am I just too flat to, to keep up with you?
No, don't worry. It's still youthful at heart. Here's Makawana looking to end this game with some high-paced heartbeats. And that little touch, I think, has prompted many to now start leaving the stands, and then some signaling that Khuriman must be taken off. His Durban City career is yet to take off, and we'll be hoping for better days to come. very talented player, and I think another one that maybe needed some time away from the Western Cape to challenge himself and get out of his comfort zone. But in the end, they say beyond comfort is growth. Both sides continue to grow into this encounter. But on the balance of play, I'd have to give it to Durban City. I think they did just enough to win, but Junior de Jong's moment of brilliance savaged something from this Chatsworth trip for Mangola Mneti's side.
Unfortunately, there weren't enough of those moments for Junior de Jong to be able to capitalize, and I'm sure with the improvement of the game, with every game that they do play, we'll see a bit more of him. But it's still work in progress for most of the teams anyway in the PSL, but some are coming out of their blocks with some beautiful football, scoring 2-3 goals. That's looking good. So other teams are coming together a little bit quicker than others, but hey, Arrows are in there with a point after all, away from home.
And it's 167th match in charge of Golden Arrows. Mangola Mneti's side have taken a hard-fought draw against KZN opponents in the very first ever KZN derby between Durban City and Golden Arrows. Something I think won't be the last time you hear. This is a new rivalry that has been spawned. But today, it's a 1-1 draw. As Kevin Huntsman, I think, will go back and will just thought to themselves, we needed it slightly a bit more, but not enough on the day. But they're unbeaten, Shwanga, having said that. And it's shaping up to be one hell of a very competitive campaign by the looks of it. Galaxy seemingly having wrapped up the job against Chipa 3-1. Durban City and the Golden Arrows has wrapped up 1-1. Kaizer Chiefs about to, barring a late miracle, win against Richards Bay. Skukune 3-0 victory confirmed against Obe College. Polokwane City, who Durban City play next, will be buoyed by their victory against ULL. Moreover, Toli and Shorty having, I'm sure, the long and short of it, of a quick conversation. Good work there from Noble in the game to just grapple some of the aerial dynamics. Justin Katumela, or rather Jocelyn, came off of the bench as well and finished strong. Carlos's own goal in the 10th minute was cancelled out by Junior de Jong's 41st minute tip.